Second language acquisition means the acquisition of a new language after learning the mother tongue. Specific learning disability is when a child shows difficulties in reading, writing, and calculation. The second language acquisition in students with specific learning disabilities is a very topical issue. According to international study, children with dyslexia have difficulties in reading the words of opaque languages, that is to say, those that have a low correlation between written and spoken as French and English. The performance is better in transparent languages, that is to say, those who have a high correlation between written and spoken as Spanish and Italian. At school, the main problem that children with specific learning disabilities have to deal with is caused by the inclination to teach both oral and written languages. This is an opposite process of what happens when children learn their mother tongue. In deaf children, the second language can be the spoken language or the sign language. Deaf children with deaf parents learn sign language as their mother tongue while they have delays in the spoken language. Deaf children with hearing parents learn the language spoken as a native language, and they will highlight a general delay in language development in both languages. If children are exposed lately to a sign language acquisition. The Adventures of Ocus and the Lotus are short stories created with the aim of teaching a foreign language to children. Ocus and Lotus are two small prehistoric characters, the dinocrocs, a mix between a dinosaur and a crocodile, who live in a park with other animals. The foreign language teacher creates situations in the classroom that are unsuitable to second language acquisition. The reason is that they don't correspond to natural situations. The program of Ocus and the Lotus tries to create in the classroom some situations, the format, that allow children and teachers to live together adventures in the foreign language. In classroom, these adventures come true with a sign theater, that is to say, the acting out. The teacher with a verbal story performs a sign gestural narration with the aim to support words. The repetition of the format will create the emotional connection between teacher and student. The first language doesn't interfere with the learning of a second language. In fact, research suggests that knowing one language can help the child understand how other languages work. In the first half of the 20th century, the prevailing view was that bilingualism and early second language acquisition made children confused and interfered with their ability to develop normal cognitive functions and succeed in educational environments. The age is an important factor in second language acquisition. Linguistic Eric Lannenberg stated that the crucial period of language acquisition ends around the age of 4 or 5 years. Behind this time, a language is more difficult to acquire. This was called the critical period hypothesis. The window of opportunity is the period when learning a second language is as easy as learning the first. After age of 11, centers in the brain responsible for language acquisition stop growing rapidly and language acquisition becomes more difficult. Some of the disadvantages of learning a second language at early stages are Children are slower to learn languages. Without a good method and teacher, the desire of learning can decrease. Children learn faster but also faster forget. Children that start learning a language since they are born might start to speak lately. The advantages of learning a second language at early stages are increased cognitive abilities, better at multitasking activities. Children learn easily and they can achieve a better pronunciation. Children become more open-minded. Children don't fear making mistakes. Children can acquire a second language naturally. In fact, they learn a second language using the same strategy used for their native language. Some of the elements that are important for teaching are a correct method that introduces fun, the objectives of the foreign language. The teacher must have minimum objectives. Children can have easily loss of concentration, easily learn but also easily forget. The organization of teaching. Children are very familiar with the routine. It is an organizational model with a fixed structure. Greetings with some songs. Main activity, reading a story, plays, performances, artistic productions. Goodbye. It's time to say goodbye with songs or rhymes. The teacher. The foreign language teacher has to have linguistic, theoretical, methodological, and pedagogical competence at optimal levels. The teacher should know act, sing, draw, and love his job. The teacher can use a questionnaire to understand the context and the starting position of the students. The role of the family. The family should check the progress of his children, and the children's success implicates increased motivation. Educational materials. Educational materials can also be multisensorial activities. Children use the taste, hearing, touch, sight, and smell, encouraging learning. Manual skill. Manual skill integrates aspects such as creativity, autonomy, and high-end coordination. The pleasure of realizing and making can improve learning. Learning is the greatest adventure of life. Learning is inevitable and a game. It is important that the child understands it and always will believe it.